What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin Cash, a very controversial topic, but we're going to be taking an objective approach and talking about a CNN analyst, Brian Kelly, talking about Bitcoin Cash being a must-buy due to the new development fund that's being built right now for Bitcoin Cash. And then we're also going to be looking at other news like Verge seeing another hack, as well as Bitcoin's technical analysis. Let's actually dive into Bitcoin and talk about what's happening right now, being rejected off this 50-day moving average depicted here in white, alongside with a rejection below the EMA, which is in blue. Everything is showing bearish right now for Bitcoin. If we go to this weekly chart, you can see this swing high to swing low is occurring right now, and we are heading towards known support levels and accumulation zones. So hopefully we see a bounce soon. I'm still expecting prices to dip below 8,000, heading down towards those 7,700 levels, knowing that this RSI is still trying to test 40. It does have quite a bit of a way to go all the way down below 30. So in my opinion, that's very probable and very likely for Bitcoin. And then looking at some other information here, you can see here the cryptocurrency market in general is just looking great. If you are a buyer in this market and you're looking for low prices, everything is down right now. And in my opinion, every time we've seen this, we've seen some swing highs with some extreme profits being made. And looking at this chart, you can see there are several coins here I do want to point out, including Bitcoin Cash, down 14% over the past 7 days. Quite extreme in comparison to some of the other coins in its zone, such as EOS down 3%, Litecoin down 6%, and Ripple down 6%. Bitcoin Cash looking the most attractive, especially after they've announced this new development fund. If you don't know, EOS and Tron are two of the best examples, in my opinion, and two of the most successful examples of utilizing this type of phenomena of a development fund where the miners will take a portion of their rewards and dedicate it towards a fund specifically for development on that blockchain. And then knowing that Bitcoin Cash has just now pretty much made an agreement with its miners to go ahead and have a development fund, in my opinion, it could be quite a bullish statement there for Bitcoin Cash. If you look here, crypto investor Brian Kelly says Bitcoin Cash is a must own, says crypto investor here. And you can see he says on Saturday, Bitcoin Cash miners met to discuss funding for a Bitcoin Cash development fund. In the fund, miners are going to take some of the rewards they get from mining and put it in a fund to build stuff on top of Bitcoin Cash. So knowing that they're going to be doing this, it's also continuing here saying that's how blockchains gain value. You're going to be getting more use cases to the extent that usefulness translates into value. That could be a positive for Bitcoin Cash. What do you all think? Leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the chat. We've got our live audience here as well. Mr. Christian 80, Claudio Bach 64 on the house, Bachenbergen in the house, even a guy named Mark D. What a simple name there. And I'd love to hear your opinions on that. In my opinion, Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. Of course, it tries to solve the issues that Bitcoin faces, such as speed. But I think when the Lightning Network is fully developed and fully mature, it's not really going to need a forked coin to make up for its speed difficulties. I think Bitcoin Cash will be used in its own way if that's the case, knowing that Roger Ver is a very ambitious individual and he seems very, very determined to allow Bitcoin Cash to prosper in at least some way, shape, or form. So knowing that they're having this development fund, it's going to be interesting to see how this rolls out. I would just stay patient looking at Bitcoin Cash's technical analysis. In my opinion, it doesn't look too good right now. Yes, we are closing below that EMA, which is bearish. We're still above the 50-day moving average, which is going to be interesting to see what happens as this EMA and 50-day moving average start to converge together. But on the weekly chart, it just doesn't look bullish in my opinion. You can see we've already seen a swing high, and it looks like we're going to see a significant swing low here with Bitcoin Cash, as we've seen that in the past. Anytime we've seen any sort of parabolic run-ups like we see here, you can see in the past, anytime we've seen these run-ups, we've ended up retracing down to lower price levels. So I would expect something very similar here for Bitcoin Cash this time around. So if you do want to accumulate some, I would definitely give it a little bit more time for us to complete this swing low for you to get the best possible position in Bitcoin Cash. And once again, the goal as a trader is to maintain your profits. Capital preservation is huge, so we want to make sure you guys are making money and saving money. Balkenbergen says 250 likes and Naeem eats his microphone. I'll do that for 300 likes. Somebody says 400 likes and Naeem shaves his eyebrow. I'll do that. I actually have a shaver right here, coincidentally. If you want me to shave my eyebrows, like this video now. Imagine if I were to just go in this video, just shave my eyebrows. That would be horrible. But thank God I have the Middle Eastern genes, so I'll just grow it back fairly fast. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh my gosh, likes are increasing. That's funny. Somebody says book giveaway for 100 likes. Absolutely. We'll do a book giveaway 100 likes. I think we already hit 100 likes, didn't we? Let's see here. We'll do a book giveaway in just a second. We're at 60. So we'll do a book giveaway around 100 likes for sure. Let's see here. Somebody says best altcoins for long-term hold. Where can I put my $1,000? I've been talking about two coins. I started talking about them yesterday, but the two coins I am extremely bullish on right now for the long term would be Syscoin and Ontology. So if you guys are looking for two of my next picks that would be similar to Zilliqa, because Zilliqa was a pick that we chose. I think it was past the top 50 when we chose it, and it was at 4 cents, but now you can see we're all the way up to 14 cents, and we've seen some amazing growth from this long-term hold. Zilliqa actually solving a lot of blockchain issues that a lot of these projects are facing, so I'm very bullish on that project. But I think Ontology being at 800 million right now is a very, very good coin poised to see higher levels, alongside with more of this underplayer here chilling in the back called Syscoin, back around the top 100 on the latter side of that. But Syscoin, in my opinion, is another project that has huge potential. If we can just search it up here, you can see Syscoin only at 44 cents, rank number 70. And you can see we've already seen some swing high and swing lows with Syscoin, but we've seen this overall ascending trend, this overall ascending support level, alongside with knowing that we're under a $300 million market cap. I can definitely see liquidity flowing into Syscoin over the next couple of weeks, putting this coin at least in the top 50 from the top 70, over a $500 million market cap, which is very possible for a coin like Syscoin. To transition, another article I saw today, John McAfee, expect top 10 coin prices to blow through the roof. Institutional investors are aching to go, and then it follows with a couple of TAs. But the point is, institutions are coming into this market, and that's what's most exciting in my opinion. Knowing that institutional investors are seeking to bring their liquidity in this market, I think that's going to be the game changer for 2018. I think 2018 is going to consist a lot of regulations trying to be created for this industry. But as we know, the regulators are really just allowing us to self-regulate right now for the most part. So I think that this will be a year of regulation followed by a year of institutional investments. And that's when liquidity and market cap will fly through $1 trillion in my opinion. Jesse said, have you been busy lately, Naeem? Yes, I've been very busy. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I was at a crypto event last night with Lamar Odom, and we did a quick Instagram together. So if you guys are on there, check out Lamar Odom and I. And we were at this crypto event. He's extremely bullish in the cryptocurrency sphere. Had a great conversation with him about how it could really revolutionize the NBA, right? The National Basketball Association, and how players are ranked, how players are tracked, right? And putting that all on a blockchain, you know, even like fantasy sports, for example, that's going to completely change with the inception of cryptocurrency, you know, fusing with that. Mark D says, what is a Lamar Odom? If you don't know, he's an NBA champion. He played with Kobe Bryant in the Los Angeles Lakers. So he's a very prominent figure in the NBA and a champion. Somebody says, is Nano dead? It's funny they mentioned Nano. I actually think I have an article about Nano today. No, but it's definitely a coin that I do want to talk about. Nano here just closed a partnership with a huge company that has, I think, several 100,000 users from what I remember. And Nano's price has been on the decline. So knowing that, and knowing they just signed this large contract, if you look at their coin market cap, I think it's one of the coins that I highlighted as a choice and a pick for this week in regards to midterm holds, because of this new announcement and knowing the price levels are retracing back down to these accumulation zone. If you look at this weekly, you can see we've already seen several different swing highs and swing lows, and we are approaching the swing low at the bottom. So in my opinion, it's only going to be a matter of time until we see some sort of liquidity flow into Nano as investors realize it's becoming more and more oversold. So hopefully that has given you a little bit of insight on some of the coins that I'm watching, but I definitely would say Syscoin and the other choice, which would be Ontology, are the two biggest long-term holds here. Pathos says, and Lamar Odom says, my kind of guy. Okay, a little inappropriate. Mr. T says, smash the likes, guys. Working hard for the community. Appreciate that. Jigger Ohms says, tell Lamar to take us to the bunny ranch. Oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculous. Somebody says, sir, what could we expect from TRX this month? I think Tron with its mainnet launch and EOS are two coins that you should have in your portfolio, regardless of whether or not you believe in them. I think that these are two coins that have obviously shown strength in this market, and are two coins that I would be confident in regarding having them in my portfolio for my long-term holds. So T-Bone just says, FB trash, keep up the good content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I like taking an objective, subjective approach, right? We're not bashing or we're not going for Bitcoin Cash. We're just talking about the logical aspects of it, which is, you know, one of my most adopted traits from Ray Dalio's book, Principles. If you guys have not read Principles, highly recommend checking that book out. But Ray Dalio ran one of the largest hedge funds in the world. Bridgewater Associates is, I think they manage over $175 billion in assets right now. And in his book, he talks about having that winning mindset, you know, always keeping yourself open for opportunity, but most importantly, taking a subjective and logical approach. So Bash Akram in Super Chat says, what's your opinion on BlockNet and its DX and interoperability? I haven't really looked much into BlockNet. I heard it's something that's going out there. There's also another coin that I heard of called the Hyper Network. I heard the Hyper Network is a coin that may be seeing some growth sometime soon. By the way, our midterm holds here, Nano, yep, it's one of the ones that we highlighted here, down 18%, as well as Wanchain. Still very bullish on Wanchain, so I'm watching this. It's down 20%. I think we'll see some major liquidity come to Wanchain and Nano soon. Wanchain being one of the consensus sponsors, as well as Icon here. You can see down almost 20%, alongside with the same type of numbers we're seeing here with Wanchain, and also a sponsor with consensus. So expecting some liquidity to flow into the market with those specific coins. Because remember, when liquidity flows into Bitcoin, we may see the majority of altcoins rise up as well, but some altcoins will go up 20, 30% if Bitcoin goes up 10%, while some altcoins will go up 5 to 10% if Bitcoin goes up 10%. So there's some better altcoins that you can be in while we see liquidity flow into this market. But for the most part, of course, the majority of the market follows, you know, Bitcoin right now. So it's good to always use Bitcoin as a reference point. So AK50 says, Digibyte and Redcoin TA, please, Naeem, for the super chat. Let's do a quick Digibyte technical analysis. I know this is a coin that has been a huge opportunity for a lot of investors, and we've been following this cup that has been forming for some time with this overall rounding bottom formation. You can see now that we're starting to form this handle. Looks like we're about to start breaking out from this handle. What I do like about this chart is on the 1 day, you can see we never went below to these bearish RSI levels. We actually found support at previous support levels here, right around 43 Satoshis. I'm sorry, 43 on the RSI. And now that we've seen this bounce, we're forming this negative divergence, seeing resistance. I think we'll see one more pullback with another bounce to potentially see some higher levels as this volume starts to build up. I like that we're seeing an increase in volume here, alongside with the MACD starting to cross over. I think if we give it a little bit more time, it'll complete that MACD crossover, which is a bullish sign here. This blue, if you don't know, is the fast length, and this red is the slow length. These are my input settings if you guys want to know, at 12 and 26. And then that fast length crossing over that slow length is a very bullish response and reaction. So I think that we may see a bullish reaction soon here with Digibyte, especially as it will most likely break out of this cup and handle this rounding bottom. If you don't know what a rounding bottom is, we have a Discord resource. It's a free resource available to everyone. The link is in the description, and you can go on our Discord resource and it'll look just like this, and just click trading patterns, and you can pull up what a rounding bottom actually looks like, so you have an idea of this pattern's formation and what it indicates. So you can see it's a breakout pattern, and we're seeing that exact pattern form here with Digibyte. So I would expect this to see some higher highs sometime soon. Everything is looking slightly bullish here on the 1 day. If we look at the weekly chart, you can see as well, it looks like we had a swing high to a swing low, and we're now completing this swing high by forming this fractal pattern here, or this rounding bottom. So very bullish here in Digibyte. And then to pull up Redcoin, I haven't looked at Redcoin in some time. It's going to be interesting to see what patterns are forming here. We're obviously heading towards accumulation zones. What I do not like about this chart is we had a failed cup and handle. So you can see we tested our resistance level here. We had a breakout, cup formation. You can see we went up, formed the handle, and then we failed to break out. So knowing that we're seeing resistance on this 50-day, or I'm sorry, this EMA, so we're below the EMA and we may or may not see support on that 50-day, I'd be slightly careful with a coin like this. What I would watch is whether or not we're going to find support on that 50-day moving average. So hopefully that helped out. Let's see if we've got any more questions on the live stream. Nana says, I love your live streams. I have learned a lot from you. Keep up the good work. Could you do ETH? Thank you so much for the amazing compliment. Yes, we can definitely do Ethereum. I think that's a coin worthwhile. And let's check out what's going on here with Ethereum. So we broke out of this overall high trend. It's something I've talked about for some time on this live stream. You know, we've been at these higher RSI levels for quite some time, and I think we're just ready to see some sellers take their profit. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. You can see RSI starting to dip. I would wait before putting in a position for Ethereum until these RSI levels can at least go below 50, most ideally at 40. Hopefully it bounces at 40. If not, we see it go below 40. Those would be the ideal entry points for ETH, but I think it's quite overbought right now. You can see volume is starting to wither away as more altcoins are being purchased in this market. Looking at the MACD, we are on our way down. So I wouldn't call any sort of entry points right now for Ethereum. I think that we'll see some sort of retracement before following back into this ascending channel. Overall, it handled itself pretty well during Bitcoin's correction. You can see Satoshi value continuously increasing during that period of time. So Buy CryptoPig says, what is your number again to call you? It's 504-434-0269. That's my phone number to call me. That's obviously a phone number that I use for, you know, the public, but let's see here. Joe Mahma said, Bitcoin investors be like spawn die, spawn die, spawn die. Well, it's a different type of market, right? How many of you own traditional stocks? Say yay on the chat, right? If you own traditional stocks, say yay. The majority of you don't own traditional stocks, right? We might get a couple people that say yay, I own traditional stocks, but the majority of us don't own stocks. Like Grant says nay. Bear Shark says nope. How many of you don't own stocks? Say nay or no, right? So we've got a lot of people saying yay, but majority of people are saying nay. So most people don't own stocks. Rick, Steven, Nigen, Agafield, Mr. T says no thanks. Dirty Water says no. Doctor says nope. Johan says nay. Pathos69 says no. Mitnick says Forex. Zane says precious metals. Bachenbergen says crypto. Freddie Beltran says yay. Let's see here. Aldo says no. AYC19 says yay. Grant Lacorte, I like that name, says the volatility. Oh, we haven't popped the LaCroix. Ooh, doesn't that feel good? Just to pop it, right? Lax Thor 09 says, how long until you can own crypto and IRAs? What I would say before IRAs, here's what I do know. Following futures, I think that we'll see ETFs, of course, and then following ETFs, we'll see options. And then I think as that market matures, we'll see more of like the IRAs and the different funds come into, this market and start to take hold. So that's kind of the path that I'm expecting right now. Bachenberg says, La Crypto. We're going to have to do a sponsorship with LaCroix. Somebody says, I have Riot, which is kind of like crypto. Interesting, Big A. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Billy says, Bytecoin, Dogecoin, TRX, DentaCoin. I don't really like Dogecoin or Bytecoin, but Tron, I don't mind right now. Lexus, thank you. You're welcome. Sarkis says, Verge Technical Analysis, please. Let's do Verge Technical Analysis and take a look at what's happening here with XVG. So looking at Verge on the Bitcoin one-day chart, you can see we are retracing down at these lows. We're seeing a lack of volume. What I do like about this chart is we're breaking down right now with this RSI level. So what I look at when I'm looking at RSI is if we're breaking down below 40, just let this RSI level hit 30 and start dollar cost averaging your position into Verge, right? Verge is a great coin. I mean, at the end of the day, they have use case. Obviously, they just had a huge partnership announced with the adult entertainment company, and they've also had other partnerships in the works. But knowing that we're below this EMA, you can see the EMA is acting as resistance right now. We're already below that 50-day moving average. We're just getting towards these oversold levels, and at some point we're going to see a large amount of liquidity and buy volume come into Verge. So I would say give it a little bit of time, wait for that RSI to start heading down to 30, and then start dollar cost averaging your way into Verge. So Builder says Verge got hacked. Yes, Verge did get hacked. We do have the article here. Hackers exploit Verge flaw again to steal 1.7 million of XVG. They're most likely going to do the same thing in regards to just solving it through a hard fork. So we'll see what happens here. But you can see here, Verge saying we had a small hash attack that lasted about 3 hours earlier this morning. It's been cleared up now. We will be implementing even more redundancy checks for things of this nature in the future. So what I like about that is the fact that they obviously are trying their best to fix these flaws and these issues. And at any given time, any of these blockchains could see vulnerability attacks like this. And we just have to have some sort of grace for these developers and understand it's such a new technology. Dosh says 200 likes for wearing sunglasses. Sure, we'll wear sunglasses at 200 likes. I think at 400 likes, I have to shave my eyebrows. So if you want me to shave my eyebrows, like this video. You guys are ridiculous. Aldo says hacked twice already, not good. You know what is positive, though? They were one of the fastest teams to fix their hack initially when they were hacked. And then they were pretty fast this time around, too, to at least address it, right? So that's the positive about it. So you want to look at the positive. I think we should look at the positive. Very bullish on this market, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe Bitcoin is the future. I believe Bitcoin is a scarce resource that in the future is going to act as a storage of value for investors, the same way that gold has acted as a storage of value for years and years and years. I believe that we're going to see the same thing occur with Bitcoin. I think it's a very, very beautiful technology that is going to see a resounding amount of use case in the future, and I hold tight to that belief. Somebody says book giveaway. Okay, let's do a book giveaway here. If you can tell me, what is this white line? I've talked about this white line before. What does this white line represent in my chart? We've been talking about it through all this technical analysis. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, everybody's saying, let's see. Hannah says cocaine. It doesn't mean cocaine, sorry. Grant Lacorte says SMA, short-term moving average. Yeah, I would say I'd rather have something more specific. Zane says question for you. What's your question? Matthew says RSI. No, that's the bottom right here. RSI is down here. It tells you if something is overbought or oversold. Anything over 70 is overbought. Anything under 30 is oversold. Let's see here. So everybody, all right, there you go. We've got a couple people that said the 50-day moving average, which is the correct answer. So we'll do it for Jay Walker. How about that? Jay Walker on the live stream. Good job. I chose you. There were a ton of people. JP said it. Bear Shark said it. We'll do more giveaways. Don't worry. Darth says, please give Ty Lopez a job washing your car or cleaning your toilet. I am tired of seeing him advertise on YouTube trying to sell his Bitcoin money scheme. He actually has a great course. I mean, to be honest with you, his course, it works for people, right? He's got Brock Pierce on that course, who's a very prominent figure. The thing I do like about what he does with his courses, at least what he did for his Bitcoin course, was he got actual experts to teach the course. I actually was, part of that, like they reached out to me to teach some TA, on that course. And I don't know if I ended up doing it fully. I think I did a test run and I just didn't have the time to complete it. But at the end of the day, he makes sure to get professionals So Aldo says Orlando, perfect location for a blockchain convention in slow season. Absolutely. We'll do it at the major convention center there. Dosh says, is Bitcoin market saturated for traditional/retail investors with all the institutional money coming in, mostly altcoins? Absolutely not. Definitely not saturated. I think we're earlier than ever in this market right now. I think this market is completely premature. If you guys don't know, there's a book called Chasing the Chasm. I highly recommend reading it, but it talks about market cycles, and there's also this huge chasm that has to be crossed. And in order for us to cross this chasm, we have to do it as a community together. So it talks about this, and I think a lot of you have most likely seen this chart before, but I'll bring it up here. Everything starts with innovators, right? So you've got innovators like the Vitalik Buterins and the Roger Vers and the early developers and contributors to the Bitcoin code. And that turned into early adopters, right? We had a ton of early adopters that adopted the technology as early as possible, held on to coins, believed in technology. And I still believe we're still in this early adopters phase. I mean, why don't we ask the audience, right? Like, where do you guys think we're at? Are we in the early adopters phase? Write EA in the chat. Or if you think we're in the early majority, type in EM, right? If you think we're in the late majority, type in LM, right? We're obviously not in the laggard stage. And I don't believe we're in any majority phase right now. You know, for us to see early majority and late majority, in my opinion, we need to see the big four adopt this technology. And the big four include Facebook, Google, Apple, and what's the fourth one? Amazon. So those are the four large conglomerates right now in this world. They control, for, in my opinion, a lot in this world. So knowing that, I think that once they adopt this technology, that's going to be the start of us crossing this chasm. See, in order to cross this chasm, we have to go from the visionaries and the people that just talk about ideas to the people that execute ideas. And typically the people who execute ideas are not the same people who visualize and create the ideas. That's why you have companies like Uber, for example, that, you know, was obviously, like, you had the CEO that was kicked out of his own company. And you see this time and time again, like with Apple, Steve Jobs kicked out of his own company because typically the ones who start the company with the vision are not the right people to run it to the higher levels, right? They're not the, what we call protagonists, is what the book puts it as. And these protagonists are conservatives, people that are, you know, very, very logical with their decision-making skills and have a lot of loyalty. Whereas the visionaries and the creative individuals are typically people who'd like to start projects but not finish projects, right? So that's kind of my opinion right now. We're in this early adopter phase. The hardest area to cross is this chasm, which actually is in between the early adopters and the early majority. And the chasm is going from this concept, this idea, to actual execution. And we actually have seen this happen, and we've seen projects fail at this, right? Like, if you guys don't remember the Segway, right? The Segway was something that saw innovators, saw early adopters, but then never made it to early majority, right? You don't see people just riding Segways now. And there was a reason for that, right? It just didn't cross the chasm, right? There were a lot of reasons why, you know, I mean, it just, you know, one reason is the founder died in his own, you know, he rode it off the cliff. But at the end of the day, we need to go to our small businesses in our local area and help them accept crypto. You guys want to make some money? Like, who here wants to make some money? Here's what I'll challenge you to do. If you want to make some money, go to the local business and say, hey, you know, for whatever cost, I will help you accept crypto, right? Like, you can even tell them, hey, if you get at least $1,000 worth of sales, and give me $500 for helping you set this up, right? And prove to them that the technology is there and it works, and allow them to understand how to accept cryptocurrencies, right? And it's just as simple as them setting up an iPad on BitPay, right? That's something that each and every one of us can do. And that's the type of impact that we can make as a community. And, you know, hopefully we make that type of impact. So we're going to be wrapping things up soon. Sorry for just going off a tangent. Hopefully that helped some people. Did you guys enjoy that? A little bit of extra knowledge from me, you know, aside from the whole TA and the FA that we're doing here. But we're all going to be on Discord. I'll see you all on Discord. If you don't know, Discord's a free resource that we offer for all of our members. And the Discord resource is probably the most valuable resource that any of you watching right now could have. I think it's more valuable than any of these news sites because not only does it offer news, analysis, signals, premium education, tips, health updates, market health, things of that nature, but it also allows you to have a community to chat with and talk to. So I'd highly recommend getting on our Discord. We have tons of different chats here. We have tons of different resources, helpful reads, like some of the books that I mentioned. Highly recommend getting on there. But thank you guys for coming out. Let's see. Aldo says, my friend remembers you from Marriott. He's impressed with your show. Nice, Aldo. That's awesome. Yes. Vaklov says, yes, thanks, Naeem. You're very welcome. Tiernan says, can't get involved without the understanding, so I need a book. Lax says, I ask people all the time if they expect crypto. Yeah, if you ask people on the streets, do you know about cryptocurrencies, most of them will say no. And if they say yes, yeah, I know about Bitcoin, we'll ask them if they know about Ethereum, and most of them will say no. Fabrice says, Salt seems a good buy as it has reached previous support levels and RSI is below 40. I think we're done with TA right now, but we'll do some more TA in our next live streams. Mr. T says, cheers, dude. Hello, Naeem. Sys is so hot. Yes, it is hot. So thank you all for tuning in. Nicholas says, check Fusion out with a super chat. Let's do a quick analysis here. Oh, it's not pulling up here. It's probably not listed on TradingView because it's a smaller coin, and that's fine. But what I will say is, looking at Fusion just on CoinMarketCap, we can definitely do a little bit of some token metrics here on the spot to see what's going on here. And I like to just look at some coins sometimes under 300 million. I'd like that if it's something that has intrinsic value. I would say this is going to be based upon the project, but in regards to this coin seeing any sort of price manipulation in the past, it looks like it hasn't seen much manipulation. It's following a very similar trend that Syscoin was following with that ascending support level. So I would say at this point, find out if this coin has intrinsic value and then make your decision upon Fusion based upon that, not necessarily anything outside of that right now, because some coins you can't really do TA with if they've just been following or consolidating for quite some time like this coin has, right? Like when Ripple was consolidating at 25 cents and 50 cents and 75 cents for so long, nobody predicted it was going to go to $3, right? But if you knew the intrinsic value and the partnerships that were being made on the back end, you could have predicted that. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. There's your nuggets for the day, and tune back in on our daily live stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want to see me with Lamar Odom at an exclusive crypto event that was sold out last night. I posted it on my story, which will be gone in 24 hours, but I'll continue to post daily on Instagram. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Love you all. Love to all the snipers out there, and like always, snipers out.